mom was an architect, so was good at sketching, etc. Dad, ship captain, so he had the math and engineering part. And I was good at school. Physics, chemistry, and math were my strong subjects. Went into aerospace engineering, but found it very boring. I realized that I'm not the kind of person who can be trapped into a lab. I need to be out there with people. So I eventually moved to another university in the US. I was in the US studying and got a degree in geography and mapping. Hi, I'm John from Tales of Froth, the founder of Tales of Froth and also the group Friends of Froth. 9 years ago, I went to flight school in Canada and learned how to fly airplanes. I had my first beer experience with my dad when I was growing up in the Middle East. He gave me my first can of beer at 16, but I had lots of sips in between as I was growing up because my dad would make me the bartender at house parties, so I was privy to many sips of beer. So by the time I hit 16, I was very used to the taste and flavor of beer. So maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15, I would have to keep count of the number of countries I've been to. But yes, if I go to a local place, first thing I look at is I ask for recommendations. Of course, I have a group I can ask on that. Otherwise, I look for local beers, and local beer souvenirs are a must. So my suitcase would have local beers, obviously, to bring back, but also maybe t-shirts or coasters, beer openers and such things. Fridge magnets, I collect fridge magnets. I try and buy different kinds of hats. I'm a hat collector or junkie, I don't know what you want to call it, but yes, I love collecting hats. If you've seen me around town or on the internet, you would know that this is my favorite hat that I got in Canada 10 years ago. When I came back to India, unfortunately when my dad passed away, I had to cut short my flight training. I realized that here in India, nobody was covering the beer scene as it should be. I realized that consumers didn't seem to know what craft beer especially was. And it took me a few months after coming back to come up with the idea. It just popped of the blog. The name just happened in a drinking session. And then 8 months after I came back, I launched Tales of Froth. It was April 4th, 2014. And I've been a regular customer at Arbor since then. And I've met everybody from the MD to the chef to the wait staff, front desk. Of course, the brewers are my friends as well. And I've also visited Arbor's facility in Goa. I've been able to meet the founders of Arbor. Arbor is a brand that has been close to me for 5 years now. And it's the closest good brew pub next to my house. I'm about 2 kilometers from Arbor. So for me, it's a win-win situation to have such a good brand that's been consistent over the last 5 years close to my house. And unofficially, I would tell you that this is, I think, one of the best brew pubs in Bangalore, and definitely my favorite. You can probably catch me at Arbor a few times a week. The Beach Shack has just wowed me. I think it's a great session IPA. I think here in India, in Bangalore, wheat beers are still the number one. So it's a tendency, if you like craft beer, for people to be creatures of habit and keep ordering something like the Bangalore Bliss. I would encourage you to expand your horizons. Look at the Easy Rider, that's another style of wheat beer, and slowly start getting into the pale ales, stouts. The sour beers are something new. I think you've got to keep an open mind and try different styles of beer if you really want to grow or be called a beer enthusiast. You can't just focus on one style. You need to try all the different styles to understand the whole broad range that beer can have, or understand the full spectrum. A very complex beverage, even breaking down flavors is more intense, has more complexity than the other beverages out there. And it is the world's oldest beverage, alcoholic beverage, so we're going to keep that in mind and give it a lot of respect. And I wanted to tell you guys to always stay ahead of your beers, drink responsibly, and repeat after me, cheers and stay frothy.